Come on, IG. IG. Wonder why IG's not working. It's weird. Hang on, guys. Working on a little technical difficulties. Try this again. Oh, you know what? Maybe that's it. Where'd it go? Excuse me. And it should give me a preview. Not sure why it's not previewing on IGA. I think it's been 4 minutes already. That's a bummer. I guess no IG today. Doesn't want to work. Well, we have to move on. Can't let technology stop us. Good morning, DX fam. This is your boy, DX Exclusive with DXWorldMedia.com, where dreams choose you. Welcome to the 10th episode of Morning After Delight Podcasts. Hope you guys are all ready to learn about intimacy, relationships, dating tips, and just the know-how of being able to talk to yourself about relationships and how important it is to have the power to choose in your relationships. Today's episode is going to be asking ChatGPT, what types of romantic relationships are there? How many are there? What are they? What are they? So let's put it in chat, see what they get. In chat, I wrote, tell me how many types of romantic relationships are there to choose from when considering a romantic partnership, semicolon, give an example of each. And then chat gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different examples of the types of romantic relationships that you could create with your partner. Stay to the end to listen to all 5 and get my opinion as a summary. All right. Chat, obviously the most common traditional relationship, chat puts number 1, monogamous relationship. A monogamous relationship, what is that? A monogamous relationship involves 2 partners who are exclusively committed to each other romantically and sexually. They prioritize building a deep emotional connection and sharing their lives together. Example, John and John and Sarah have been in a monogamous relationship for 5 years. They are each other's primary romantic and sexual partners and have made a mutual commitment to be faithful and loyal to one another. That's number 1. Number 2, polyamorous relationship. In a polyamorous or poly relationship, individuals have consensual romantic and sexual relationships with multiple partners simultaneously. These relationships can take various forms, include hierarchical polyamory, where one partner may have primary and secondary relationships, or non-hierarchical polyamory, where all partners are considered equal. Example, Alex, Taylor, and Jordan are in a polyamorous relationship. 3 people. Alex is romantically involved with both Taylor and Jordan. All 3 partners openly communicate, consent, and support each other in their relationships. I know there's a lot of questions about that. I mean, right now in 2024, we definitely are seeing more of a mainstream. I mean, even in Peacock TV from NBC, came out with a game show, a reality show called Couples to Throuple. And they basically, it's like 8 or 9 episodes, show couples accepting a third into their time at the resort. And then they show us, the audience, how they talk to each other, make out, do a game every episode with a relationship expert. And they try to get them to open up to each other a little bit more on a more emotional and open side, instead of always hiding behind normal life where you're distracted by work or family, and not really sharing who you are with each other, Especially in a reality show that's only like probably filmed of the course over a month or so. You really have to speed up the relationship process. It's not over 4 or 5 years of getting to know 3 people, The other thing they had in there was that there was like maybe 16 or 18 singles that they would be able to maybe swap out every other episode. So that was interesting. I definitely needed to do a summary review of that TV show, so I can give you my full opinions about that. Now, I was surprised when chat put this one on here because I thought poly was a part of this next one. Open relationship is another option, according to ChatGPT. An open relationship allows partners to engage in romantic or sexual relationships with individuals outside of the primary relationship. This arrangement typically involves established rules, boundaries, and agreements to ensure transparency and respect. Example, Lisa and Mike are in an open relationship. While they are emotionally committed to each other, they have agreed to explore sexual connections with other people with each other's consent and communication. So consent and communication seem like universal terms, but we could probably spend a whole podcast on talking about how do you define consent? How do you process the feelings behind consent? How do you learn how to talk about being with other people sexually? Do you establish a rule that you don't talk about what you do and you just acknowledge that you are being safe, or like what are the rules, So that could be a whole other episode, and we definitely need to get to that in the short upcoming weeks. Stay tuned to the end. I really want to get into this difference between the poly and the openness of relationships, because beforehand I kind of thought they were similar, a lot more similar than being separate categories. Number 4, we got long distance relationship. A long distance relationship occurs when partners live in separate geographic locations and maintain their romantic connection through communication, visits, and virtual interactions. Example, Sarah lives in New York and Tom lives in LA. Despite the distance, they are committed to making their long-distance relationship work by regularly communicating, planning visits, and supporting each other's goals and aspirations. This one is where I think a lot of professionals, especially traveling professionals, see. If you're a traveling nurse, you're a doctor, or an actor, or a pharmaceutical representative, you may have to go live like a month in Missouri, a month in New York, a month here. So you're not really sharing daily or weekly communication with your partner like a traditional live with partnership. I can also see that maybe you live with your partner maybe once a week or once a month out of the year, and the rest of the time you're traveling. So it's more of a long distance relationship. That could be another option. Number 5, committed partnership without marriage. A lot of people choose not to be married because they may seem it's more of a way for the government or government basically to be involved in your marriage financially. I know there's some states, I don't know, I have to look that up. Maybe we'll look that up in a second. That once you live with someone for a certain amount of time, you become pseudo or married up or whatever. So this one is basically some couples choose to have a committed partnership without legally marrying. Like what I said, they share finances and build a life together without formalizing the relationship to marriage. Example, Jessica and David have been together for 10 years and share a home, finances, and future plans. Where are they committed to each other? They decide not to get married and prioritize the relationship without a formal marriage ceremony. I think a lot of people might avoid marriage also because they don't want to have to deal with the divorce process. They've seen their parents or other family members or other friends go through that horrible divorce process. You may have to deal with certain financial separating things if you do break up in a committed non-marriage relationship, but you won't have to go through like courts that much. You just need to like do the personal transfer of properties, and then that's where alimony. I think some states make certain time periods of non-married committed relationships when they break up pay an alimony. And actually, let's do that. Let's do a little quick search on Dr. Google. We got to talk to Dr. Google now, please. All right, I think it's called, shoot, what is that? Let me put married, not married. Bet you that's a TV show. Common law. There it is. Common law partners. Let's see what it is. Common law marriage. Wikipedia, common law marriage. Common law marriage is also called non-ceremonial marriage. Marriage by habitat. It's a legal marriage despite non-compliance with requirements for a statutory marriage. At least in the jurisdictions where marriage can be contracted this way. The term common law marriage is often used incorrectly to describe various types of relationships that cohabit, whether or not registered, or other legally formed relationships. Although these interpersonal relationships are often called common law marriage, they differ from its original meaning in that they are not legally recognized as marriages, but may be parallel interpersonal status, such as domestic partnership, registered partnership, common law partner. Wow, now we're getting into a whole bunch of different other terms. Non-marital relationship contracts are not necessarily recognized from one jurisdiction to another. Man, this goes back all the way to Greece and Rome and Wikipedia. Let's do the United States. In the United States, most states have abolished common law marriage by statute. However, common law marriage still can be contracted in Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Montana, Rhode Island, Texas, Utah, Oklahoma, and District of Columbia. Once they meet the requirements of common law marriage, couples in this true common law marriage are considered legally married for all purposes in all circumstances. All U.S. jurisdictions recognize common law marriages that were validly contracted in the originating jurisdiction, although the extent to which the U.S. Constitution requires interstate marriage recognition has not been fully articulated by the Supreme Court. So I'm still getting confused now because with all this new information. Even the origins of common law marriage are uncertain. It's arguably the original form of marriage, in which a couple took up residency together, held themselves out to the world as a married couple, in other ways behaved as a married couple. It's been gradually abolished in Western United States and throughout the centuries. Wow. So why do we always talk about it like we know we were still talking about it if it's not even there? Well, then what let's go back to Google. Common law, California. What's the other term that I'm missing right now? Let's do marriages in California or cohabitation. Man, this is really putting a new perspective on why we even get married. Cohabitation laws. Okay, alimony. Cohabitation laws regarding alimony. I guess we should start with alimony in California because I think alimony is the main. Jesus. What? I thought there was a rule about 10 years. Once you're with someone 10 years, you're entitled to alimony. But according to Google, it doesn't work that way. Oh my God. So I just read that the automatic legal rule triggered by a divorce after 10 or more years of marriage is that the court retains jurisdiction. This means that the court can continue to monitor the lives of the spouses. As facts have changed, the court may modify its original orders. But that's marriage. I thought there was a common law that would give you alimony even though you're not married. Man, this is a rabbit hole, guys. I hope you're enjoying it. We're learning a bunch right now about common law. Marriages doesn't even exist. That's trippy. I did not know that. All right, so that was a dead end. Very weird. I'm very surprised by that. All right, let's get back to the episode. That was a tangent. I hope you enjoyed that tangent and it triggered you to go do some research for yourself. Remember, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know much about this. As you saw in my search, I was really stumped. And we were just talking about the last type of relationship, committed partnership without marriage. And from my perspective, I could see why someone may do that because with just a little bit I read, it looks like once you're married, you're basically forming a marriage with the state, the jurisdiction, the governing body where you reside. So they have a lot of power over your life financially, probably over the course of any disputes between you and your wife. Oh man, we need to do an episode on that. What does it mean to be married legally? And how the federal government or how the government is basically a part of your guys' relationship. Now it kind of makes sense that there's no real point unless you want to make that a part of your finances. It's basically financial. Man, there must be someone that's done research on that before. We got to find it. I'm going to try to find it for you guys. I'll let you know when the episode's coming out. Wow. All right, here we go. We're going to go into the summary now. And where I give you my final comments about all these different ones. So today in our episode 10, which I'm very happy to be a part of because it's been 10 weeks that I've been doing this for us all and been disciplined and committed to the idea of this Morning After Delight podcast. And for anyone that's just joining, Morning After Delight is an idea of mine that has become a cookbook, a podcast, and will grow as the years come on, unfold. Morning After Delight is basically the idea that after a great time with your partner, physically, emotionally, spiritually, anything, but usually it does involve sex. The next morning, one or both of you take turns making breakfast for each other or making food right after sex, whatever time, it doesn't matter. It's just the point that, man, after a great intimate moment, you go to the kitchen and you make something nice for you and your partner and you celebrate with food this great partnership that you've created over all the time that you've been together. You know, that special moment that came by. So if that resonates with you, please support the podcast and my future development in this entertainment world that we're creating. Buy my book, Morning After Delight, at morningafterdelight.com. It's direct to reader. I'm going to send you a PDF. It's digital. You'll have it on your phone. Just swipe up, look at your recipe, make your dish, and enjoy. All right, morningafterdelight.com. It's only $9.99. I got the hookup. Now, if you've enjoyed all the conversations we've had over the last 10 weeks and you are like, man, I really would like to talk to this guy. I really want to be able to talk to myself. I want to be your emotional mirror. I want to be able to help you talk to yourself in a safe space, virtually, over the phone, whichever form of communication that suits you. I want to be able to help you create a strategy, a plan, a map for love, life, and happiness. So if that sounds like something that you would want to do, please DM me, comment below, email me at dxworldmedia@gmail.com. No, wait, my bad. My email is dxworldmedia.com@gmail.com. So you could message me there and say, hey, been really dealing with this issue, or I just want to look more into my past, or I want to look to create a better future. You know, I'm a planner, not a wedding planner, but like a planner of life, a happiness planner. Happiness is a choice, baby. So let's work together. Let me be a part of your support group, your chat, and allow you just to grow and feel happier with yourself. I also help people work on their content creation, business ideas. I have a really good synergy energy. Once we're talking together, we're going to have ideas pop, 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 pop. And then you can go try them and see if they work with your market. And then we go back and forth over the course of a year to really get you to finite and develop your ideas. So reach out to me. I got you. You can DM me at IG DXWorld Media as well. Now, so we got these 5 types of relationships. From my own personal experience, I've been in the monogamous. For the past 15 years, I've been practicing polyamory and open relationship like at the same time. That's why earlier in the podcast, I was like, man, I thought they were the same thing. But as I'm reading this from chat, I think poly really focuses on the long term. I think poly is more of a long-term idea. Like in the example, they said Alex, Taylor, and Jordan are in a polyamorous relationship. They're all in romantically involved. Oh, well, no, it doesn't even say who's romantically involved. Well, no, it's like when I first read it, I thought everyone was romantically involved, but it says Alex is romantically involved with both Taylor and Jordan. So I'm thinking Taylor and Jordan got together, and then Alex was a third, and Alex is basically dating Taylor and Jordan. Now, we don't really know their genders because Alex could be girl or guy, but in the last few years, I've recently realized and researched, which we're going to talk more deep about in the upcoming episode, is that in the polyamorous community, there's this actually gives you an example of a unicorn, a really unlikely situation for a poly relation. It's so hard to explain because all these ideas flow in your head when you hear someone talk about poly. So obviously poly means more than one, right? So monogamous means one, and then poly means more than one. What I've learned and practiced and just learned in general is that you can do it a different way. Real brief, because we could spend a whole hour talking about this. If you're together with a couple, usually you both go find separate partners to be in a polyamorous relationship with. When you find one person to be with you, that one person is very hard to find. So that's why most people in the poly, I would assume, I don't know, I just get this impression that they do, call them unicorns or dragons. Unicorns for females and dragons for males. So a unicorn and dragon is able to date a couple, is what I'm saying. For me in this, I always thought open relationships was very similar to poly, but open relationships is more of like they're just going out and hooking up. and they're open to be with a bunch of different people, as long as they both agree on the rules that they've developed. And then that's another podcast. Developing rules for an open or polyamorous relationship is very complex, because you're two people are coming together and they both want to try that out. Neither one know really. I mean, if they've never been experienced, they really are just starting like noobs, new beginners. They don't know how to communicate those ideas. And there it is again. Almost every episode, we always go back to my second episode. You got to be able to be open and intimate with yourself, to create your own boundaries and expectations, to be able to create new expectation boundaries with a partner or partners in this example that we're talking about. So that's what gets me excited about me talking about this more. It gets me more sharp in understanding and developing my bravery, my courage to be able to talk about things like this. And that makes me feel impactful on your life, because if I can give you the courage or give you the spark from one of my episodes to start having those conversations, they're very hard. I'm not saying they're easy. I make it look easy because, I mean, some of us aren't naturally born to be able to be honest and open to yourself. And I've developed it over 40 years of being honest and open in every aspect of my life, not just relationships, my likes and dislikes, my choices in career, my failures and successes. I kind of just go at it like Curious George and just allow myself to enjoy the ride of life. So I've really lived a really happy life. And my parents and my grandparents probably knew I was going to have a happy life because I was a happy kid and baby naturally, but at a high intensity. And recently I've been, like even last episode, I've been wondering, is that a form of autism if you're kind of unfiltered and too open to talk to people? Like, is that what autism is? So help me out. Let me know. What is autism? I got to do a research on that too, because I'm not trying to self-diagnose me or label me, but it kind of helps me put it in perspective on why it's been a challenge. Even though I'm super smart and I do all this, I'm socially like a little too open, which causes conflict with social interactions. And I don't see anything wrong with it because I'm coming from a very pure and innocent. I have my innocence in myself still, where I'm just trying to meet people, even if it's on day one. Say I met you right now in person, I would be able to talk to you exactly how I'm talking to you because I've developed my skin and my presence, and I live in it. I don't mask up, and that's why I wear the Superman. If you ever know me personally, I'm Superman, baby. I'm Superman. And why I created this own idea of myself, my own like superhero, exclusive. It just, I don't know, it just creates a really good story for myself. And that's what I hope to inspire you to create your own story, your own presentation. Not based on external forces, only your internal happiness, your honesty, your bravery to talk to yourself. And I'm here to help you go through those growing pains because I got lucky that I was kind of like born like this, but it's been a hard road. I don't have that many external like groups that really understand me. So I'm still trying to figure that out, even at over 40. Like, I think we're all going through that, even till the day we die. We're like, what the hell just happened? Why aren't able to complete the tasks I want to do with the people I want to do them with when they're just really fun ideas and I just want to go out and play, almost like I'm a kid still, you know? I think we lose that as we grow up and we get hardened by this world and this tradition of just like work, sleep, eat, raise kids, go to bed, die. I'm here to create, baby. I'm here to entertain. I'm here to educate. I'm here to inform. I'm here to be, ironically, from the Army, all you could be. I'm just here, baby. I'm here. I'm excited. I want to share that. And that's what I love being. I love being a reminder of all those positive ideas. I think that's why I like watching motivational speakers. But I don't feel like I really connect with them either, because like I feel like they molded themselves a certain way, but they're not really true to themselves even still. I get this funny feeling that if I met a couple of my, how everyone says when you meet your famous celebrities that you like and admire, they turn out to be not the exact same person on camera. I am one of the few that when you talk to me here, online, or in person, it's the same exact thing. And it's boring. I bet you, for all the exciting ideas I have, maybe the people I met over the course of my life just like thought I was crazy. And then I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. And I don't want to worry about it because it doesn't help me do my job of being the best of me here. Whoa. I love how these podcasts can really go on this emotional outlook. Let's see. I mean, you guys already know monogamous, so I'm not really going to talk about that one that much. And we basically talked about like not the whole last 9 weeks. The long distance relationship. I had a friend at work that I've never met a long distance relationship. Really, I don't hear of them that much. I think because most of the time, one or both of them kind of like can't deal with the distance. They want more from the partner and they can't because they're physically not there. But I did meet this one guy. He's a little bit in my age range, a little bit older. But he found a partner that lived in Spain. And he's in California, United States. So he would see this partner once a year. I like the romantic side of it, is that you long for your partner all year long. You see them online, you virtual chat as much as you want. You decide those boundaries and expectations, but you physically can't touch them until you meet them for 1 week out of the year. Now, the only way I see that working is one, your communication and your expectations are very clear and you get enough from what you can do physically in that 1 week to sustain you for the whole year. And you are more of a worker, or you have a higher priority of other things that fulfill that gap, that distance from each other. I could see that's where it would work. An open relationship would work too. Like you're committed to that one person and they're far away, but you're allowed with your expectations and boundaries to have different partners throughout the year. But you put a lot of trust on that. That's the scary thing of poly and openness or open relationships is that you hope or you have faith in your partner to not find someone that makes them feel closer to their soul, in love or whatever, more than you. Because then they may be curious about maybe just making the other one more of a priority. And then two, which actually goes back to what we were talking about unicorns, how they're so rare. A person once told me how this works and why it's kind of messed up. In the poly community, polyamorous people usually don't look for unicorns. They look to have separate relationships from their partner because they don't want to hurt the person they're inviting to the relationship, and they don't want to hurt their partner as well. But say you're with a partner and then you find a third, right? And this third likes both of you, and you do a throuple for a longer period of time. If one or both of the partnered up couple not like the third, or the third don't like the third is coming in attaching themselves to two people. So if you break up with the third, or the third breaks up with you, well, actually, it's no. If you break up with the third and the third has to leave from the relationship, they lose two people, and you're only losing one, or half in a way. So it's almost like a 1/2 ratio of hurtfulness. So most people in the community of the poly that I've been told by this one person, they say that most couples that are poly don't like looking for a third because it would be unfair for one or both of them, of the partner, to not like them, to break their heart. My only problem with that statement is that when we're doing monogamous relationships, we're always taking a risk. I mean, you hear it all around in your community, all your friends and family, all the heartbreaks that we're all going through, all the baby daddies, baby mamas, when we're including children, and they still don't know how to communicate, even though they knew how to communicate enough to have a baby. There's always a chance for someone getting hurt. So that one comment about, oh, I'm not going to look for a throuple, I'm not going to try to find a person that's going to like me and my partner. I don't know why we can't just be wishful for that. And the reason why I'm motivated to find a third is because, actually, financially, because say me and my third, we're both working. And then my wife would be the stay-at-home mom for all the kids. And we grow like a Brady Bunch, almost, with a throuple Brady Bunch. I guess it's like a half a bunch. Because you and your partner have kids, and then you get the third, and you start having kids, and there'll be kids along this way of the family tree. And so it is like Brady Bunch, where 3 and 3. My mind goes that way. It's imaginative. But the cool thing about I would think that there'd be 3 incomes, or 2.5 if you're a part-time mother rearing person, and then all the schedules hopefully would be all different areas of the week. You could have a really good team, a good financial team strategy to create a really better life. Because of the way inflation is going, we almost need 3 jobs. I mean, you hear these single moms doing 3 jobs just trying to barely make it, which is kind of weird because I'm making it on just a job and a half, and I'm not having, we're barely making it, but we're not forced to go get all this other work. I only need 500 to 1,000. That's not a full-time job. 3 full-time jobs, or even 2 full-time jobs for one person. I know people do that. Everyone has their story of financial success and struggles. And I wish we would be more open to sharing what we are doing, so maybe we can learn from each other about finances, because I think I'm missing something in the budget. I think there is. Because there's people making way more money than me, that have less responsibility, and they have just as much money as me. So how is that possible? How are they spending it on other stuff that I'm not? Maybe that's probably it. Answer my own question. But I hope you enjoyed today's podcast and really got to explore the different ideas. Now remember, everything we've talked about to this point, I've been trying to get you to think about how to communicate with yourself and your partner. Be more intimate. Learn how to fight with each other. Because that's the secret of having a long-term relationship, is knowing yourself and all of your dislikes and likes, learning to learn about your partner's dislikes and likes, and supporting each other on all the different areas. You got to become a we, not a you and I, a we. So that's why I think poly could work, but it's just a lot harder. Because you have a third And it just magnifies all the dislikes and likes, especially if she likes one of your dislikes or likes, and then the other one doesn't, and becomes like a unofficial competition of each other's of each other's attention. And that's the problem with poly too. You split your attention between multiple partners. When you go beyond a third, like I know like when say you and a partner both get a partner, and now you're a four relationship. Like literally, not just from my one episode where I'm talking about how you're dating your ideal self. Like you're gonna need a big brain of like coaching brain like mine to just process all that information and remember it all. I mean, I don't remember everything, even with my wife, but I can't imagine trying to remember a second or a fourth or a third or fourth partner schedule and everything else. So I think that's probably why. It's a really difficult situation to even do poly or ever. And then besides that, you got to hope that they like you and your partner or just like you enough to allow you to have a partner. So yeah, I mean, if you think about it in a very plain texty way like we're doing right now, poly and open relationships are a lot harder than they look. They may sound fun because you're having sex with all these people, but they're not hard. They're not easy because you're going to be financially responsible for another person, or you're going to be responsible to spend more money regardless of it's taking care of them. It's you go on a date with two people a week, 2-3 times a week. That doubles your date money. Financially, that doesn't make sense unless you got money. And then if you have money and you're watching this, you're a celebrity, you're whatever, you're a business person, you have money, you might want to remind yourself of your humble beginnings if you've ever had them and try to enjoy life at that lower level and having the Dr. or the Scrooge McDuck money just sitting there. You don't need to spend it, bro. You know, honey, you don't need to spend it. Like if you're a stripper or a dancer, you don't need to spend all that money. Especially if you're spending it just because that's your therapy. You're like spend money to be therapeutic. Why don't you just have a conversation with yourself, with a coach, happiness coach, a life coach, a therapist, and take a break from spending money? Because we need to start spending less money so we could enjoy the smaller, grateful things that we already have, is what I'm saying. Because we could be able to make bigger moves on what we want. Like say you're a dancer or stripper and you've been a dancer or stripper for more than 5 years and you're still trying to dream of this bigger dream, a better life. And you haven't done it, but you made more than like 3 McDonald's workers combined and you spend it all in a year. Mathematically, it doesn't make sense. Why did you spend all that money? And you probably know why. You probably spent it because you were like emotionally not connected to yourself. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. Well, I am trying to make you feel uncomfortable, but for the right reasons. I want you to be uncomfortable enough to make a change. And then get comfortable with that uncomfortable so you could become a better person. Did I get you with that one? I think I did, buddy. I think I did, honey. Buddy, honey. Hey, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that phrase. I like this glass, even though it's just water. I'm sipping on it from my sore throat. It looks like a little something. Well, it's always fun talking with my guests when they are here and talking with you guys. Hope you guys have a great day. Remember to breathe, relax, discover, choose, and inspire your life and all the others around you. This has been your boy, D Exclusive, with DXWorldMedia.com, where dreams choose who? You. Peace.